Congressman Lloyd Doggett, a Democrat from Texas, became the very first congressional member of his party to publicly call for President Biden to step down as his party presidential nominee. All this comes about as a result of the horrible debate performance by President Biden last Thursday. And as the Biden administration continues, frankly, to scramble to protect him, what's going to happen? As Congressman Doggett's remarks probably indicate that there could be a domino effect about to happen. Well, joining me now to discuss this is Congressman Ron Estes. He serves on a number of committees in the House, including the Budget Committee and the all-important Ways and Means Committee. He represents the 4th Congressional District of the great state of Kansas. Congressman Estes, always great to see you, my friend. Welcome back to the program.
Well, great. Thank you, Jody. Thanks for having me back on.
Well, listen, let's start with the fallout. It all continues from the debate performance, the dismal performance from last week. What's your take on the Democrats scrambling now for several days, trying to figure out what they're going to do? And now Congressman Doggett comes out calling on the president to step down.
Yeah, it really was a bad performance, and you see that. I'm not as concerned about how bad a performance he had at a debate, compared to, say, his State of the Union presentation format. I'm more worried about what we've been talking about as Republicans for a long period of time, is just all the bad policies that President Biden's brought forth. I mean, we've got inflation that's running rampant now. People that having to pay 20% more on average for paying food and groceries and gas and all the things that you need to run life. And those are the types of things I think that are more concerning to people. Is you look at the policies that President Biden's put in place versus the policies that President Trump had in place that were effective and the economy was going good when President Trump was in office. And that's what people are going to concentrate on, in the next, 4 months as we lead up into the election in November. And people are looking at, how do we keep the country moving forward?
I know when I was there in Congress, always, it seemed that the legacy media was trying to highlight conflict within the Republican Party. Are you surprised by the reported infighting and conflict within the Democrats that's being reported right now between their party and all the conflicting strategies that are coming forward? Are you surprised by any of this reporting?
Well, I think part of it is, if you look at the media, all facets of the media, whether it's social media, whether it's TV, whether it's print, they want to talk about a controversial topic. So if there's not one out there, they're going to try to create one. And, whether it's talking about Republicans and Democrats fighting each other, whether it's talking about Democrats fighting amongst themselves or Republicans fighting amongst themselves. So it doesn't surprise me too much that they've actually now centered on the debate. Because as we all saw, it was a very poor performance in the debate, that President Biden very clearly couldn't articulate what his policies were that he's been an advocate for the last 3.5 years. Or, it was even laughable in terms of talking about some of the things that he tried to say, and that things like, that he inherited inflation of 9%, when in reality, when President Trump left office, it was 1.4% inflation year over year. And those types of policies are the issues I think that people think about, even though the media tried to create this controversy. And so it's interesting now as I look and talk with my colleagues on the Democrat side of the aisle, when they talk about the media coming up and talking to them, because they want to talk about the controversy as opposed to let's focus on how do we get our debt down and our deficit down.
Yeah, I think even the examples you gave reveal that this was much more than a bad performance. It shows a problem leader that we have that. And I think that's what's causing all the stir. And yet the Biden administration, Team Biden, probably a better way of describing it, they're all trying to do some damage control. The president, as I'm sure you saw, he came out saying he doesn't walk as good as he used to walk or speak or debate as well as he used to. But he claimed that he still knows the truth. He still knows how to do the job. And here's a brief little clip from Karine Jean-Pierre. She repeated today. Play clip 4 for me, please.
The president had a cold. He had a hoarse voice. You all heard it. That's why you reached out. But I will say this, and the president said this over the past couple of days, certainly right after the debate. He knows how to do the job. And he knows how to do the job, not because he says it, because his record proves it.
Damage control. What does the president's record say about all this?
Yeah, it really is laughable to hear President Biden say that he knows how to tell the truth. When you look at things like border security, he claims the border secure, but in the last year we've had over 3 million people cross the border illegally, and that's almost the same number that happened during the 4 years that President Trump was in office. Or you look at President Biden saying that he's brought gas prices down, and while it's true that they've come down from the peak when Putin invaded Ukraine, gas prices are still over $1 higher than when President Biden came into office, and it's pure to his policies. So if his spokesperson is out saying that President Biden is intentionally doing these things and knows what he's doing, those are certainly the bad policies for America, and Americans know it. And that's why his approval rating is so bad. And that's why, as the Democrats and Team Biden, as you put it, are scrambling so hard to figure out how do they put spin out on his performance and on the policies that he's promoting.
Well, that's the only hope they have. Switching topics, so if we can, last question. House Republicans you guys are trying to pass all 12 appropriations bill going into 2025, and you're on the all-important Ways and Means Committee. The last year, national debt has increased nearly $2.5 trillion more, now some $34 trillion. How does passing the budget through appropriations rather than a bloated omnibus that happens year after year, how does all this help rein in the debt?
It's really important as we go through the appropriations process. We've passed out of the House 4 of our 12 appropriations bills to fund general government. But what we've seen so often over the last 25, 30 years is that instead of focusing on an agreed upon number through those 12 appropriations bills, there's some at the end of the year, some people that are dragging their feet, or they want their pet projects put in. They don't support the appropriations bills, and you end up with really a bloated spending omnibus. And what that does is it creates this huge deficit that we've got, and the debt that's growing actually even bigger every week. $100,000 a second is what the federal government's borrowing.
Wow.
Based on all this spending.
Congressman Ron Estes, we're going to have to bring it to a close right there. Thank you so much for your incredible leadership. It's always an honor to have you on Washington Watch. Hope you have a fantastic Independence Day.
Well, great. You have a happy 4th of July as well. Thank you.